we're going to talk about the process of implementing tech, not what technologies are out there. To a large degree, every product that I know, people have raving fans and they have some serious detractors, right? There's just not one product that is for everybody. And what we're going to talk about today is really the process of doing this change and the pain points that exist in it. And those exist no matter what technology you pick, right? So what is the process? The timelines vary so widely depending on the size of the practice and what your goals are. So let's look at it more from a simple perspective right now. You have to pick some software, right? You have to plan that integration and that implementation. You sometimes need to customize and integrate depending on how intricate you're creating your situation. You definitely need training. And then there's a client rollout too. So from your perspective, Hannah, what are some of the top issues when you're trying to pick what software you're going to go with?
Well, so again, as Charity mentioned, we've really backed into this. Some of these are lessons from things we did wrong, and some of these are lessons from things we did right and worked really well for us. But I think for us, we always wanted to build in plenty of time to go through the demos and the decision-making process. And we also had to be very thoughtful about who we involved in that decision making. It's not necessarily going to be your traditional decision makers in the firm, and obviously that's a different calculus for a solo practitioner, versus a larger firm. But if you're in a firm where you have legal assistants or paralegals who are doing the production side of the house and going to be the heaviest users of, whatever technology you're implementing, don't wait until you're halfway through the process to involve them or get them in the room. I mean, you want them to be involved at this very beginning stage and sit in on some of these demos, give their feedback, and be prepared. I think the other thing that that has really worked for us is sitting down and identifying what are our must-haves and what are our would-like-to-haves. Because you're going to sit through a lot of sales calls. Everything's going to look pretty and shiny and new, and oh yeah, we can do that. That sort of thing. I think you really want to understand what you need, and then what the product actually offers and what's on its roadmap for the future, as you're making that decision. And don't fall for the sales pitch if they can't answer one of those questions, because everything's possible on a sales call.
We call that shiny object syndrome.
Right. And then, of course, you've got, in this day and age, cybersecurity has to be, top of mind. And, you want to make sure that you've got questions around what that means. Involve if you have an IT vendor, make sure they're helping you ask the right questions. Hopefully you have cybersecurity insurance. You may even want to reach out to your cyber, security provider to see if they have things that they look for in terms of cybersecurity. Budget is another big one, and I'll stop and let Dan jump in because I know he's been involved in a lot of these decisions as well, quite recently.
Yeah, and in fact, there's so many key points like right off the bat that you've made, and the shiny. I can't stress enough to get clarity around exactly what is going to be delivered in what you're looking at versus what's on a roadmap versus when, give us an estimate for when this new functionality will actually be available. And I'll say, when I was looking at firms, I specifically had demos provided to me for show me what it's like from an HR perspective, show me what it's like as the employee. And I involved, my team who know way more about how the platform actually works with the creation of a petition. So that the point about involving the correct stakeholders at the beginning can't be emphasized enough. You do not want a partner that has not touched a petition in like 20 years to be making a decision about how that petition comes together through the process of your platform, and how the users of it, the people that are actually going to be the subject of the petition or HR, how they're going to experience it and how it's going to work for them. Because so again, identifying those super users, the people that are really good at this stuff, that have the sort of broader picture of how the process and technology mesh together. It's just, you do that, you will save yourself massive amounts of headaches.